Hey, it's Lindsay here. Thanks for stopping by the channel. We are doing our second unit in this Avarice Acre apartment lots, and this is a full industrial loft styled apartment complex. So, well, not a complex, it's really just one building and then there's a bunch of stuff on it. If you haven't seen the original building construction of this building, go ahead and check it out. I'll link it in the video and also in the description box. That way you could take a look there. I am excited about this one because we are in our Charlie unit, and this is the second unit on this lot, and also is for a media manager. And why? I just feel like it would be perfect. Like, there's this beautiful divider that I end up adding at the end of this build, and there is a perfect place to hang up all of their awards and their articles and things that they've impacted that they really just am very proud of. And so I really can't wait to finish this and show you all what I came up with. I had a lot of fun at the end because that's when I realized that this could be for a media manager. In the beginning, I was really floating with a lighter color scheme and I just went with it, but towards the end I kind of get my footing, and then I just end up changing a bunch of the different decorations to match that. So we start seeing a lot of pastels. It really starts to gravitate from that coffee table that I add. You see it has the pastel colored storage under there, and it flows throughout this apartment. It is a studio with one bathroom and a private balcony, and I love it. There are slight differences in this apartment and also the other apartments that you see if you download the lot completely furnished and if you download the lot without any of the furnishing in the apartments. And that's because I wanted it to be completely customizable to the tenants. So in this one, we have the added laundry space and then the half wall divider that you end up seeing me add later on in the video. But that's because, like I said, I wanted them to customize it. So it's not necessarily something that comes with the lot itself, but it can be something that you add. And creativity is kind of important to me, and I want it to be allowed for The Sims as well. So that's why I did that. But you can see I'm working on the kitchen, and in here, like I said, I wanted it to flow with the cool tones. It's very chill towards the end, but I do end up adding some black accents that I think would have worked well, but in the end I'm like, not really. So I do end up changing it out, but in the end I think it really conveys that someone important lives here. I mean, you know, someone important lives in every one of the units, but this one is really focused on their career, and so they don't dedicate a lot of their time to other things like cooking, and that's why I end up adding the popcorn machine, and I end up adding a microwave. I think a small portion of this home that I really love is the small private balcony, and honestly for this one I think it's just a lounge thing, so they aren't really out there that much because they really are focused on their job and work and everything like that. So what I have out there is just one small grill and two chairs, but I love this bathroom. It has a very large window, a mirror that is the size of the entire wall. I do end up taking out one of the cabinets because I end up adding a washer and dryer, the vertical ones, so you can have a small little laundry room space in your bathroom. I felt like it was a perfect space to add that because, you know, dual functionality. It's all about versatility, and I wanted to lean into it. Every time it's time for me to furnish a place, I always think back to what is the hardest part of furnishing, and it's always the smaller details. Like, the big things are always easier, so putting in cabinets, you know, sinks, things like that, but decorations really make a house feel lived in and realistic. What if my sim is a soap dispenser kind of sim and not one who could use a soap bar? And I don't know, I know it's decorations in The Sims 4, but I love to be as realistic as possible, and thinking about those things really make it realistic for me. So if you build, please let me know what the hardest part of building is for you, because for me it's definitely the smaller details and how I want something to look from like a bird's eye view. Although this is a very small place, I do end up adding a bunch of things in here. As you can see, around this time, I do believe this is where I'm furnishing up the private balcony. I end up adding this beautiful full-length mirror. It is completely different than the one that you see in the bathroom because this one has a little frame around it, and I felt like I needed a difference. Like, this one didn't need to be frameless because the other one in the bathroom is the length of the entire wall. So this one is just a small thing, and I felt like it would be perfect to be right next to the door. And this is the time where I decided to add in a small divider, and I end up using the brick that you see on the side of the wall, and it just works perfectly. Like, it's the perfect way to divide up the space between where they work and where they watch TV, which is almost, all the same, because sometimes they are criticizing movies and shows. But when it's time for them to write, they can go right behind that wall and get into it. And I feel like it's perfect. This is also where I start changing the colors. And I want to speak about something very briefly. So I know there's a lot of things going on in the Sims community right now, alongside a lot of bugs Simmers are seeing when they're playing or not able to play. And I can recognize that. Actually, I'm trying to get this build up and running so that by January 28th, when you're able to download it, that it actually downloads and you can just start playing. And right now I'm not able to because of something similar to what is going on in the glitches with the For Rent expansion pack. So hopefully they get to fix that. I do want to keep everything that I do on a lighter note while also being able to give constructive criticism where I can. And with that being said, I can definitely understand the reaction of some of the Simmers. There are a lot of glitches and a lot of bugs with a few of the packs that the Sims team has put out, and hopefully they find it easier to fix moving forward. But right now, I can definitely agree that my game is extremely bugged and it's really hard to save things in a way that I intend to. So hopefully by the time you all can get this, it is actually working properly. It was certainly around this moment where I realized it could be for a media manager, and I had to lean into it. You see we have one of the top computers there, and then we just add a little TV, and that could be like an additional computer if you'd like. I add a lot of stuff around the desk, and I feel like that is just them working all the time. There's a little mobile laptop that I do end up adding as well, and just making sure that everything really makes sense for this type of sim. Like, it makes sense that they have a very large dressing area, that they have snacking food. So I added the popcorn because part of them being a media manager is also being a critic, so they're always snacking while they're watching TV or reading. That everything I placed made sense for the sim, and I really think it does this time. And this is where I end up adding the articles, and then I add some more magazine articles here because maybe they are a media manager of a magazine company, and here are some cover stories that they have, like really impactful things to them or ones that they admire. The entire lot will be up on the gallery January 28th, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Enjoy these screenshots. Bye.